this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. So I'm asking a question. How often do we shoot ourselves in the foot? How often do we go out and seek an outcome and we don't get that outcome? We complain about it or blame other people. Now I'm talking about this guy right here, who I think he's in London mostly, and he's always sticking a microphone in some black immigrant's face, asking them something about black Americans. I'm not sure what his goal is other than to do this to keep from getting what I call a real job. I guess his goal is to try to teach people about black Americans. I don't know, but it just seems folly to me. He's always got a microphone in somebody's face trying to teach them or tell them something about black Americans because they have said something insulting about black Americans. One thing that we have brought on ourselves is telling the world that we don't know who we are and we don't know where we came from. I don't feel that way at all. When I think about going home, I think about going to a small town in Alabama where everybody that I care about came from. So I don't think about going back to Africa. I don't have any nostalgia for Africa. I like being a black American. I like the journey that we've been on. I like the outcomes that we're having, even though we have problems here. As I said in my other video, for all the things that have happened to us in the United States, we have not gone to any other country as refugees begging for food, shelter, and clothing. We have not run to other countries as immigrants because we can't make it in our own country. So I like being an American. I like being a black American. That's different from being a white American, but I like being an American and what we have accomplished here. What I wouldn't want to be is somebody running around here talking about I'm from some place that other people look down on, and they look down on you, and you don't even want to live there yourself. So yes, I like being a black American. And maybe that was the purpose of taking us out of Africa in the first place. I believe in the true and living God, and I believe he took the people out of Africa who could come into another environment and make something happen and achieve something, as opposed to them staying over there and not seeming to have a clue about what to do about governing themselves, about controlling and managing their resources, and about helping their people. So I don't have any desire to be a part of that. But back to the topic, this guy is on the streets of London, I say, harassing people, sticking microphones in their faces, asking them questions and testing their knowledge primarily about black Americans. So here he's talking to a guy from the Congo, an immigrant in London, living in a white man's country, and this guy's asking him about black Americans, and this is what he had to say.
Black American.
There is such thing as black American.
So I'm saying that's the ignorance.
You're ignorant about it. No. Do you know the definition of ignorance? Do you know the definition of ignorance?
Definition of ignorance, what you in right now?
No. Do you know the definition of ignorance?
I just told you. It's what the fuck you in right now.
All right, but give me the definition so I understand exactly what you're saying. What is the definition of ignorance?
Somebody that doesn't actually want to listen to reason, yeah, and has got his own point of view and doesn't want to expect nothing else and wants his own way all the time.
That is not the definition of ignorance.
I'm not talking about the dictionary definition. I'm talking about what being ignorant is.
No, it's not dictionary. It's just common knowledge. It's to not know. The definition of ignorance is literally not to know. That's the definition. So that's
what you're being, because
you're saying that
because you don't know where you're from. That's where it is.
You think that you saying this is gonna prove your point? All you're saying is you don't know where you're from. I'm telling you I do, and now you're arguing. You can't even articulate where you're from or prove any facts to what you're saying. You're struggling to comprehend a simple ass conversation, and I'm pulling in fact after fact after fact, and you can't even consume it.
I'm not struggling to understand anything. I'm understanding you fine, but I still stand on what I said, and I still kind of feel bad for you. And I feel bad that you don't even understand why I feel bad for you.
Bro, you talking about you feel bad for me. where I have a bloodline and a lineage who put this shit on their back, where most of the greatest inventions in the world, the most successful athletes and the most successful people in the world are Black Americans. The most greatest music artists in the world, Michael Jackson. How can you feel bad for me? You come from Congo. Now, I'm not...
Okay. We strictly gang shit. Yeah, you ain't gang. Look at who you came with. Yeah, you ain't gang.
So this guy right here proves that if you argue with an idiot, the idiot wins. This Black American man is trying to reason with an idiot. He has decided that he feels sorry for us. We're in the sympathy seat because we don't know where in Africa we're from when we've never been to Africa in the first place. He knows where he is from in Africa, but he's not living there and clearly has no desire to live there. But this Black American is going to stand there and argue with him and try to make a point, when I have already made the point. Black Americans were brought out of Africa because if we had not been, we would have been lost along with the rest of them. They were all running. Every time you do you see these Africans doing a documentary of the leaders begging them to stay in the country and build in their own countries. But they don't want to do that. They are risking life and limb, getting on basically an inner tube, going across the Mediterranean Sea, trying to get to Europe. And then when they get to Europe and realize the people don't want them there, they become like pathetic children trying to stay there. The president of Rwanda, a developing, as they say, African country, a progressive African country, says he will take them and they can come to his country and live, because they're all lying, talking about they're seeking political asylum when they're doing no such thing. But the British government agreed to pay Rwanda to take these refugees so they wouldn't have to go back to the countries where they claimed they were being persecuted, but could go to an African country that was neutral, where they could grow and help develop the country. And do you know those Negroes won't go? They're begging to stay in England. And we know how they behaved when Donald Trump was president and said he was going to kick them out of here. How they were running around here crying and begging, acting like children. But he feels bad that we're not in a position where we would be over there begging and crying and lying and doing everything trying to get out. And if anything, I feel sorry for them because they have that whole continent over there with all of the natural resources in the world, and they don't have control over them. So this man in this video says that he feels sorry for Black Americans because we don't know where we come from. Well, I feel sorry for them because they have no courage and no appreciation for where they came from. So let's elevate the thinking just a little bit. If we say that the birth of mankind is in Africa and there is evidence of the accomplishments of the ancient African people, okay, we can stand with that. Africa is a place of development, of creativity, of genius. Ancient Africa is definitely that. So if God wanted his original creation to continue to shine in his universe, and he saw a group of people that he had to take out, if he wanted his glory to shine through them, then he brought us out. So it really does go back to what the Black American told him. Black Americans shine brighter than anybody, including white people. Some of the inventions that we have made have changed the world. And America does try to keep a lot of it hidden, but eventually we know what's done in the dark, what's hidden in the dark will come to the light. So God has to shine in the universe. And we are an example of what can happen to God's people. Man can do something to you and mean it for evil, but God will work it for good. All that we went through in this country, at the end of the day, the light still shines. Our accomplishments cannot be questioned. So God is still working through us in the universe. So if he thinks that going back to Africa, finding some little dingy village in Africa is what defines us, then he is absolutely wrong. We are defined by the word of the omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent God. There ain't nothing in Africa that we have lost. Continuing to argue with Africans and Caribbeans and all of these runners is a waste of time. The only people in Africa or the Caribbean or any country where black people are in a majority, the only people that we need to be engaging are the people who are in that country trying to make that country work, not people who ran out. It's a gross waste of time. Now watch for it. In the comment section of this video, you're going to see people saying that I hate immigrants, I hate Africans, I'm attacking Africans. I am not. I am telling you who we are. I am an average black American woman. And I'm giving you the straight on who black Americans are. Take it or leave it alone. P.S. I'm not trying to speak for native black Americans. If your family was already here, I'm not talking to you. I'm not speaking to you. So please don't come into my comment section trying to correct me. I know nothing about your history, and I'm not going to take time out to learn because I'm still studying my own. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video, and have a good day.